Kazuya is a college student who is dumped by his girlfriend after a month of dating because he's a loser. As a result, he cries like a baby in his room before discovering a website for a rental girlfriend. He employs Chizuru because he is desperate. She is far more attractive than his ex-girlfriend. After meeting each other, they go to the aquarium. Kazuya enjoys his time with her, and at the end of the day, Chizuru even holds his hand while walking back. But he soon finds that it was all a ruse. He gets the impression that holding hands at the end of the day is just part of her routine. As a result, he gives her a terrible rating. Despite knowing the truth, he rents her again to reprimand her, but soon realizes Chizuru's real character. Chizuru starts to scold him for yelling at her in public like that, until he receives a phone call from the hospital, which informs him of the news about his grandmother being admitted there. He rushes to meet his grandmother, but when he arrives, he is relieved to see that she is in good health, and she learns that Kazuya has an attractive girlfriend. She hurries out to inform her friends, and in the meantime, Chizuru informs him that they must hide because her grandmother is also hospitalized there. As a result, they flee to another room and hide under a blanket. When Kazuya gets this close to her, he marvels at her beauty, until Chizuru labels him a pervert and kicks him off the bed. Unfortunately, Chizuru's grandmother discovers their relationship, and while they debate what to do next, their grandmother wonders about their future. The next day, Kazuya discovers that Chizuru attends his college, and they both live in the same apartment. Chizuru worries take over when she sees Kazuya, and she drags him to an empty room, instructing him to act like a stranger in college, since she doesn't want anyone else to know her secret. At night, Kazuya's grandmother is on her way to see Chizuru. As a result, he rushes to Chizuru's room and begs her to be his girlfriend again. She refuses at the time, but when Granny arrives, Chizuru's heart softens and agrees to play the rented girlfriend game once more. Before leaving, Granny encourages them to visit her at the hospital every Wednesday, so Kazuya and Chizuru decide to pretend as a couple in front of their grannies. Their next day is interrupted by Kazuya's friend, who first doubted how could a loser like Kazuya have a charming girlfriend like Chizuru. As a result, his buddies eventually invite them to a party, also attended by Kazuya's ex-girlfriend, Mami. Out of jealousy, she wants to embarrass Kazuya and ends up disclosing his personal, intimate life in front of everyone. Chizuru intervenes to protect his dignity after hearing this. However, Kazuya does not want to be saved from this humiliation, since he wants Mami back. Chizuru leaves the party after seeing this. Kazuya is confused between his ex and his rental girlfriend. He scolds Mami for being cruel to Chizuru after the party. Kazuya rushes to his apartment and looks at Chizuru's, where he begins crying in guilt because he dragged her into all this. Chizuru coincidentally comes, and seeing him crying, she comforts him, once more explaining that it's normal to miss your ex-girlfriend. The next day, Kazuya and his friends go on a summer holiday, where Kazuya and Mami spend some quality time reliving the lovely experiences they shared. At this point, Kazuya believes she has developed feelings for him, but Chizuru runs into him before he can confess. It turns out, Chizuru is also on a summer vacation with her friends. Thankfully, Kazuya's friends didn't recognize her due to the glasses. Later, Kazuya pulls her into a restroom to question her purpose for being there. Mami arrives before they can leave, and Chizuru exposes herself to be Kazuya's girlfriend once more. Kazuya, on the other hand, is contemplating his doomed relationship. Chizuru pretends they are on a date. After that, she wanted to leave, but was forced to stay. After a while, Mami calls him and informs him that her precious bracelet has been lost in the sea. Mami falls onto Kazuya, and then she kisses him out of the blue. Meanwhile, Chizuru tells Kazuya's friends that she trusts him and that he's not a cheater. Later, sitting with his friends, Kazuya decides to set things straight by announcing a breakup with Chizuru. However, as soon as he does so, his friend, Kaibe, begins hitting him because he believes Kazuya is rushing to the conclusion of reconciling with his ex-girlfriend, Mami. Later, Kaibe tells Chizuru that he has known Kazuya since childhood and he has a good heart. He tells Chizuru that she should give Kazuya a chance by giving her 2 ferry tickets. Chizuru, on the the other hand, believes Kazuya has become mature and has done the right thing by breaking up with her for Mami. Afterward, Kazuya comes to the ferry with Chizuru, but she is feeling ill and goes to the cabin on the ferry to rest. Later, Kazuya receives a call from Mami, who invites him to the pool. Meanwhile, Chizuru is feeling unwell, and due to the boat's shaking because of waves, she accidentally falls from the ferry. When Kazuya hears a girl with a white top and long hair falling into the water, he dives into the ocean instantly, despite his inability to swim, and in the blink of an eye, both of them are found up on a deserted island. But when Chizuru sees that Kazuya has fainted, she performs CPR on him, and Kazuya wakes up while coughing water out. Chizuru is happy, as well as flustered at the same time. A while later, a rescue boat finds them. When he is discharged from the hospital, his friends give him a ride home. At their apartment, Kazuya tells Chizuru that he has already made arrangements for next week, and he will place the payment in her postbox. He also apologizes to her once more for all that has happened. Inside his apartment, Kazuya realizes that he has developed romantic feelings toward Chizuru. Sometime later, Kazuya and his family head to a hot spring resort. Once they arrive there, Kazuya learns that Chizuru's grandmother is staying at the resort as well. Kazuya and Chizuru then find out they are sharing the same room thanks to their grandmother's schemes. Chizuru decides she might as well enjoy the situation. When she leaves to take a bath, she runs into Kazuya's mother, who explains that it is the anniversary of her husband's passing. When she returns to her room, Chizuru enjoys herself, and she allows Kazuya to stay with her as they are lying down. Kazuya tells Chizuru while he believes he is a problematic client, he wants to keep renting her out. Chizuru responds that he can rent her out for a little while longer. Later, they run into Kazuya's buddy, Kuri, who tells him that he has a beautiful girlfriend too. He even invites them on a double date. And after that, Kazuya bumps into a new girl, Ruka. Upon falling accidentally, he sees her underwear. Ruka calls him a pervert and leaves. Later, on a double date, Kazuya finds out that Kuri's girlfriend is none other than Ruka. It was surely humiliating, but they manage to enjoy the date. Ruka somehow knows about Chizuru's true identity, and while she accuses her of being a rental, Chizuru strikes to prove her wrong by pretending to kiss Kazuya, but still, Ruka doesn't buy it. While leaving, Kazuya chases her to the station to beg her not to tell anyone about Chizuru's secret. Later, Ruka visits the college to talk with Kazuya. However, Kuri arrives there too, so they rush to an empty room where she forcefully hugs him to see whether Kazuya can increase her heart rate, which he does. Kuri catches them together, and Ruka tells him the truth by thanking him for renting her as a girlfriend, and she turns out to be a rental too. Kazuya goes to share this news with Chizuru, but Ruka arrives there and professes her feelings for Kazuya because he is the only one who can increase her heartbeat. Chizuru, on the other hand, is reluctant to let him date her, since it would hurt Kuri's feelings. Later, while fleeing, Kazuya is pursued by her all day, and after a mess, Chizuru allows him to date her because she would not stop and can reveal Chizuru's secret in college. Kazuya agrees to go out with Ruka for a trial period. Kazuya's life takes a new turn when he begins dating Ruka. As a result, he quits seeing Chizuru for ages as Christmas comes, and he begins to think about Chizuru again. And one day, he sees her at the train station. At first, it appears that she is seeing a new client. Kazuya subsequently wonders, what if that guy is her genuine boyfriend? This terrible thought filled his head and tempted him to stalk them. So he follows them from a fortune teller to a restaurant library to the cinema, till he encounters the person Umi. As Umi discusses Chizuru with someone, Kazuya suspects that he is plotting against her. He is left in disbelief and imagines them kissing, and is caught after collapsing to the ground. In this weird situation, with no other option, Kazuya gives her his judgment of Umi, only to discover that he is assisting her in winning an acting audition. Chizuru admits that she wants to be an actor, and Umi will help her find a well-known director. Kazuya becomes awkwardly insecure and becomes emotional. However, Chizuru then gives him a phone cover as an apology gesture, making him even more emotional, and as it begins to show, Kazuya attempts to walk her home, only to be refused once more. Back at home, Kazuya feels special after Chizuru offers him a gift, but he quickly finds out that she's given similar stuff to each of her clients. Later, while renting her at a coffee shop, she confesses that the organization has a policy of gifting their clients. Soon after, while they are on a walk, Ruka discovers them together and drags Kazuya to a hotel room where she demands an explanation about what they were doing together and their connection with each other's grandparents. Kazuya tells her the entire story, and she smacks him, claiming the only way to end their misery is to introduce her to his grandmother as a girlfriend. She also informs him that she is confident she can be the mother of his child, prompting Kazuya to run to the bathroom. Ruka notices a message on Kazuya's phone about a family reunion at that moment. The following day, Kazuya hires Chizuru again so that they can meet his grandma. But as soon as they do, Ruka appears out of nowhere, claiming to be Kazuya's true girlfriend. The grandmother demands an explanation, and seeing no other option, he tells a dark lie, claiming Ruka is a chronic liar. Meanwhile, Chizuru drags Ruka into the restroom and seeks elaboration for her behavior, to which Ruka responds that Chizuru is wrecking chaos in her life and that if she doesn't love Kazuya, she must leave and be replaced by Ruka. When she came back, everyone at the table was smiling at Ruka's face, as if she were psychologically ill. Ruka instantly realizes that something is wrong and approaches Kazuya. Hearing his explanation, she confronts his grandmother, intending to tell her the whole truth. But the grandma's love for Chizuru overcomes her, and she does not reveal their secret. Nonetheless, Kazuya is working part-time. But Ruka arrives there, proclaims herself as Kazuya's girlfriend, and demands his commitment. But suddenly then, Kazuya's friends arrive and explain Kuri's weird behavior on campus. They also tell him to do something for him later. While thinking about Kuri's embarrassment, Kazuya develops a scheme and goes to Chizuru's door, demanding her to be Kuri's rental girlfriend. Chizuru meets Kuri the next day and tells him the whole truth. He's initially perplexed and hesitant to go on a date with her, and as he is about to depart, she decides to go to the amusement park alone. This tickles Kuri's interest, because he is scared that she will be mistreated there, so he accompanies her. They enjoy the date, while Kuri admits his embarrassment once more, but it doesn't last long, because at the end of the day, he has moved on from Ruka. Kuri was going to pay Chizuru's expenses, upon which she claims that Kazuya had already paid her. At that point, Kazuya comes, and the two friends sit together, discussing how Kazuya ended up renting a girlfriend. Kuri appears to be planning to kill him at first, but he quickly begins laughing at Kazuya's poor and pure life. Everything was settled until Chizuru asked Kazuya to meet her on the balcony, where she asked him to rent a new girlfriend from her organization. She asked to rent her colleague because she was shy and couldn't meet the needs of her client. That's how we met Sumi, a hesitant, shy, and introverted rental girlfriend. After meeting her, Kazuya realizes that while she is attractive, she is not suitable for the job of rental girlfriend. However, he continues to pursue her for Chizuru's sake and keep her motivated. Sumi gets cornered by some thugs in a bowling club. Kazuya protects her and earns her respect. Mami sees them holding hands. She follows them and mockingly admires him for being a womanizer. Sumi tries to protect him from Mami's wrath, and Kazuya asks for an excuse. Mami feels perplexed at the end of the day. She also wonders why Sumi had to date someone like him, and that's when she looks her up on the internet and discovers she's a rental girlfriend. Meanwhile, Chizuru thanks Kazuya for assisting Sumi and reveals that she'll be leaving the job soon, since Umi has found a director prepared to give her a part in acting. She also mentions briefly that she can still be his rented girlfriend for Granny's sake. Chizuru goes on a date with her new client. While she is waiting for the client turns out to be none other than Mami. On the other hand, Kazura and Ruka are having a good time. He was about to confess that he wanted to date her for real from now on, but before before he says it, he notices Mami and Chizuru passing by and entering a room. Mami, on the other hand, forces Chizuru to sing karaoke, only to humiliate her afterward by suggesting she should stop playing as a rental girlfriend because it is damaging Kazuya's sentiments as well as his budget. Kazuya is listening to their talk. Mami and Chizuru quickly left the scene, and Kazuya pursued them only to find them fighting over him. Chizuru tries her hardest to make Mami understand how much he loves her, but it doesn't work because Mami has seen Kazuya and she flees from the awkward scenario. Later that night, Kazuya informs Chizuru that he has heard all that has happened between Mami and her, and he apologized for bringing her into this. Chizuru counters this by claiming he's feeling guilty for not being able to assist him in reclaiming Mami's love. On the other hand, Kazura was unconcerned because all he could think about was Chizuru. He finally says it in the end. He admits to wanting her. We see Chizuru being emotional. He gets the impression that she is offended, so he immediately clarifies that he meant that he wanted her as a rental girlfriend. Later in the room, he expresses regret, and Chizuru is also observed as flustered. This brings the anime to an end. What a complicated love story. Do you think Kazuya will date Chizuru? Tell us in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another video.